If you live with tinnitus, you've probably been told a dozen different things about it. Cut out caffeine, try white noise, it'll just fade with time, there's nothing you can do. Some of that's outdated, some was never true at all. Today, I want to walk through what the research actually says about tinnitus in 2026. What's changed, what's still just theory, and a few practical things that are genuinely worth trying. And I'll show you how that shaped why I built Tinnifix the way I did. One of the biggest shifts in recent tinnitus research is treating tinnitus not as one condition, but as a symptom with several subtypes, involving different mechanisms in the ear, auditory nerve, and brain's processing centers. That matters because it partly explains why one approach works brilliantly for one person and does nothing for another. A generic noise machine or a one-size-fits-all app isn't accounting for the fact that your tinnitus and someone else's may not be driven by the same underlying process. This is really the starting principle behind Tinnifix. Instead of assuming everyone needs the same sound at the same volume, the app starts with a hearing sensitivity test and pitch matching, so your therapy is based on your own hearing profile rather than a generic preset. Sound therapy, using white noise, nature sounds, or other background audio to reduce the prominence of tinnitus, isn't new. What is new is a much more precise approach to it. Researchers are looking at how specific frequencies, patterns, and timing of sound exposure affect individual outcomes rather than just play noise and hope. This is where a personalised frequency sweep, tuned specifically to where your tinnitus pitch actually sits, is a meaningfully different approach from just picking ocean waves and hoping for the best. It's also why Tinnifix includes a genuinely wide sound library, different noise colours like white, pink, brown, and violet, plus nature sounds like rainfall, birdsong, and gentle streams. Because different sounds work for different people, and part of finding relief is being able to experiment. One of the most consistent findings across recent tinnitus research is just how tightly tinnitus and sleep are linked. Poor sleep tends to make tinnitus feel louder and more distressing, and a bad night can set off a rough next day, which itself can worsen sleep the following night. It's a loop. This is a big part of why sleep tracking is built into Tinnifix rather than treated as an afterthought. You can log your sleep manually or pull it in automatically from Apple Health, alongside your daily tinnitus loudness and stress levels, because if you can't see the pattern, you can't do anything about it. And the built-in sleep timers on the noise and nature sound library are there specifically so you're not left with sound blasting at 3 a.m. after you've drifted off. Beyond sound, one of the strongest evidence bases in tinnitus care right now is around understanding the behavioral and psychological side, things like stress, focus, and daily routine, and how they interact with perceived tinnitus severity. Structured tracking of your own symptoms over time is consistently shown to help people identify their personal triggers, which is often the first step toward actually managing them, rather than just enduring them. That's the thinking behind Tinnifix's journal and trend analysis section. Instead of just remembering today was bad, you can actually see it, a proper graph of your loudness, stress, and sleep over weeks or months. And the AI Insights feature looks at that data for you, surfacing patterns you might not consciously notice, like a day of poor sleep tending to line up with a spike in loudness a day later. To be balanced about this, there's a lot still in early stages. There are drug candidates in preclinical and early clinical trials aiming at the underlying auditory nerve connections involved in tinnitus, and various neuromodulation devices being researched. None of that is available as an approved, proven cure yet, and I want to be upfront about that rather than overpromise. What we do have strong evidence for today is personalised sound therapy, sleep management, and structured self-tracking, which is exactly where Tinnifix is aiming to help today, rather than waiting for a future breakthrough. So to sum up, tinnitus isn't one condition and it doesn't have one fix. But personalised sound therapy, understanding your sleep, and tracking your own patterns over time are all genuinely backed by current research, and that's exactly what I tried to build into Tinnifix. If you want to try it for yourself, it's free to download on the App Store, links in the description. And if you've got questions about tinnitus or about how the app works, drop them in the comments. I read everyone. If you found this useful, please follow, like and share. It makes a massive difference. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.